it's Eva. If you're not subscribed yet, please click the button down below, as well as the little bell if you want to see every single upload that I put out every single week. Also follow me on my social medias to get instant updates of when I post things up, as well as other fun things. Doing all that just lets you be on the notification squad, so that means if you are there commenting within the first half an hour to an hour, I'm going to be constantly refreshing to make sure that I will reply as soon as possible. If you comment anytime after that, it just won't be as instant, but I'll still reply. Other than that, New Year's is coming up really soon, so I decided to make some really cute treats for those of you guys who are hosting parties, or maybe you're just staying in by yourself because it's just too much work to go outside during New Year's. So hopefully you guys like it. I tried to make it as simple as possible and as pretty as possible. So let's just get right into this. So I'm going to start with mini pumpkin pies, which were surprisingly good and especially tasty just because I really like the crust on my pies, so the more crust the better. But the recipe is also super simple. I will leave the links to everything down in the description box as usual. You're going to need 1 can of pureed pumpkin and 1 can of condensed milk. You can use the fresh pumpkin if you want. I've done that before. It's the same thing. And then to make things easier for myself, I'm using 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice rather than using a whole bunch of different spices because that's just too much work. Then add in half a teaspoon of salt and 2 whole eggs. Now just thoroughly mix everything together and set it aside for now. I bought pie crust mix where you just add water, but you can also use pre-made pie crust or homemade pie crust. All you're going to want to do is just line some muffin cups and fill it in. I helped even out the top by just giving it a little shake and then putting it into the oven for 425 degrees for 15 minutes, then turning on the temperature to 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. As for the pie toppers, I'm just taking some melted dark chocolate that I put into a Ziploc bag, and I'm just piping out 2017 on a little triangle. The triangle just gives it a nice base and also makes it easier to insert into the pie later. And of course, it is New Year's, so it needs to be very glittery, so I'm just taking some sprinkles and putting it on top. I kind of tried to make it an ombre effect, so I put a lot on the very tip of it. Continue making multiples of these and let it set while the pie bakes. When the pie is baked, take a knife and make a tiny little slit in there just so that it's easier to stick the toppers on and just insert. Next up are pineapple kebabs, which are so easy to make. Take some canned or fresh pineapple chunks. I used cans because I don't trust myself with cutting a fresh pineapple, but obviously fresh ones are better. Insert the chunks onto a skewer, lay it flat, and then using the same dark chocolate in a piping bag, just drizzle it everywhere. You can choose to dip the top pieces in chocolate if you want, but I just drizzled it heavily because it was just easier and less dishes. And you know how New Year videos work, just add up tons and tons of sprinkles. I tried to keep the sprinkles to the top pieces just so that it'd be an accent. Let the chocolate set and you are done. And now for some chocolate-dipped meringues. If you guys watched America's Worst Bakers, you guys know where that's from. Anyways, for these meringues, you're gonna need 3 egg whites, and make sure you do not get any yolk in it because these take a lot of attention to make. You're also going to want to make sure that the bowl that you're using is completely clean, so no residue of anything in it, especially oil, because these are super easy to ruin. Now whisk your egg whites until they become soft peaks. If you're using an electric mixer, this will be pretty easy. If you're whisking this by hands like me, it might be a nightmare. This is the point where you add your pinch of salt and then slowly add in your sugar. Now keep whisking until it becomes thick and stiff peaks. Mix in half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you want it to be pure white, use a white extract. I just used regular extract. Pour the mix into a piping or Ziploc bag. If you have a piping tip, use it. If not, cut a few triangles out of the corner of the bag. Then just pipe little circles onto a baking sheet. I used a swirling motion and then I just pulled the tip right up just so that it'd be a little pointy. You can experiment with the shapes and make it long if you want. Just try and keep them all the same so that they bake equally. Then just put it in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour and a half. When the meringues are done, melt some dark chocolate. And then dip the meringues in. I used kind of like a rolling technique to get it all over the places I wanted it. Shake off the extra chocolate and then dip it in the same sprinkles as the rest of the treats. Then just place it on a baking sheet to set. I actually experimented with how I dipped it, and I really like the half and half one instead. And finally, we have some gold dripped cups, and obviously this isn't for everyone because it requires drizzling honey, but if you don't want to get sticky, all you have to do is just rim the cup with some water and dip it in sprinkles. But I wanted to get fancy and make it look cool, so I used honey instead so that I could get that drippy effect. Those are all the recipes I want to show you guys for the New Year's. Let me know down below if you like them, as well as what you guys are doing for the New Year's. Be safe, like this video if you did like it, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!